Hola, mijos. I have a story. It's from a new book, Magical Animals at Bedtime. The first story is The Princess and the Unicorn. For some reason, it sounds familiar, but let's read it anyway. Relax. Oh, I didn't show you the picture. Relax. Close your eyes and imagine you're walking in a beautiful forest. As you make your way through the ferns that grow underfoot, you're surrounded by tall trees and everything is dark and very quiet and still. Suddenly you see a magnificent pure white horse standing in the shaft of sunlight directly ahead. But this is no ordinary horse. This is the story of a princess who had everything she could possibly want, yet always wanted more, until she met a magical unicorn. Let's listen to her story. Princess Poppy lived in a fine castle that was perched on a rocky crag at the edge of a deep, dark forest. Everyone said that Poppy was the prettiest princess who ever lived. She had curly golden hair and eyes as blue as cornflowers, and if she could be bothered to smile, her teeth were like pearls. The problem was that Princess Poppy sulked and complained more often than she smiled. Nothing was ever good enough for her. The sun is too bright this morning, Princess Poppy moaned as she watched the maid draw back the curtains. Why have I nothing new to wear? She raged at the lady-in-waiting who came to dress her. What? Only 15 different kinds of pastries for breakfast? She snorted at the butler at breakfast. Everyone at court was fed up with Princess Poppy. Even though they all worked very hard to make her happy, she never said please or thank you. If she was really cross, she would scream and go red and kick her feet on the ground until she got her way. Although she complained all the time, there was one thing Princess Poppy did like, and that was riding her pony. Riding her pony Strawberry. Every morning she would go down to the stables, and John, the stable boy, would have Strawberry saddled up and ready. But one morning when Poppy went down to the stable, Strawberry was still in his pen. "What's this?" shouted Princess Poppy. "Why isn't Strawberry ready for me?" John came forward and bowed. "I'm very sorry, my lady, but Strawberry's hurt his fetlock. That's his ankle, you know. He needs to rest and get better." "No!" screamed Princess Poppy. "That's not fair. I ride every morning, and I'm not going to stop now." "But your ladyship," said John, "riding Strawberry will make his injury worse. He might even go lame." "I don't care," cried Poppy. "I'll do what I like." Even though Poppy was shaking with anger, John didn't back down. "I won't saddle him," he said. "It's wrong, and if you think about it, miss, you'll see that I'm right." Princess Poppy couldn't believe her ears. She went so red she looked like she might explode. But she knew she wasn't strong enough to lift the saddle onto Strawberry's back by herself, and she couldn't ride him bareback. "I'll show you. I'll get you into so much trouble," Poppy yelled. She turned and ran straight into the dark forest. Princess Poppy ran and ran until she couldn't run any further. At last she flung herself down in the middle of some ferns. She kicked her feet and beat her fists. After a while, Poppy stopped. No one was there to hear her. She looked around. She had come much deeper into the forest than she'd ever come with Strawberry. She realized all at once that she had no idea where she was. She had always relied on Strawberry to find the way home. Without him, she was completely lost. That's when Princess Poppy became scared. "How do I get home?" she wondered. "Who will help me?" Poppy thought of the horrible things she had said to John, the stable boy. Would he look for her? And that made her think of all the awful things she had said to the lady in waiting, and the maid, and, well, practically everyone in the castle. Maybe no one will want to find me, Princess Poppy suddenly thought. All I do is shout at them all day long. Finally, Princess Poppy thought of how she'd been ready to ride poor Strawberry, even though he was injured, and she started to cry. I've been so selfish, no one will come for me. Even though there was no one there to hear her, she whispered, I'm sorry, John. I'm sorry, Strawberry. Suddenly, Princess Poppy heard a whinny. She looked up, and standing in the sunlight, a beautiful white horse with a single horn of silver in the middle of its forehead. A unicorn, gasped Poppy. She had read about these creatures in storybooks, but she had never thought they were real. Perhaps the unicorn might help her. If you please, began Poppy as politely as she knew how. I'm lost. Can you show me the way to my castle? The unicorn bent its head toward her, and then it slowly turned and trotted down a forest path. Princess Poppy had to run to keep up, but she kept her eyes fixed on the beautiful pure white unicorn tail dancing before her. Soon the forest began to look more familiar. Poppy recognized an old oak tree in her castle beyond. Oh, thank you, cried Poppy, but when she turned toward the unicorn, it had disappeared. Princess Poppy ran as fast as she could to the stable. I'm sorry for being so rude, she said to John, and I'm sorry, Strawberry, for being so thoughtless. At first, no one at court believed it was really Princess Poppy. She was so changed. But they grew to love their new, kind princess, and everyone agreed that she was no longer just the prettiest princess who had ever lived. She was the nicest, too. Here's some inspiring thoughts. Sometimes we forget to notice all the good things in our lives. Take the time to value what you already have instead of always wanting more. Being rude to people makes them unhappy. Think about how you'll like to be treated and treat other people the same way. It's important to stand up for what you know is right, like John, especially when it involves protecting another person or animal. I think that's a wonderful idea. And I love you, boys, and I will talk to you soon. I love you, and good night.